Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our new segment. Well, we've run it a few times now. It's the Ask Me Anything. So I'm your host today. My name is Amy, and I'm joined by my colleague Cian, Brennan. For those who don't know us, we are part of the customer success team. So today we're going to be diving into some questions that you guys have put through, which is really cool. But before that, and I know it's stuff that you guys have been dying to ask. No holds barred, no topic off limits. We've had some questions sent in already, which is fantastic, and we will go through them. But also just feel free to just jump in and pop any questions into the Q&A that you might have as well. So let's get started. Of course, we're going to go through some housekeeping first. You've got the duration, which is 30 minutes. And that's, as I said, it's going to be interactive. You guys can ask any questions that you want. It's an open discussion. So please feel free to unmute yourself, take your camera off. Don't let that be any pressure, but just ask any questions that you want. There is going to be a recording of this as well, so that's going to go out within the next 24 hours, and it will be sent to you automatically as well. And then lastly, we've got a survey. So this is basically just to let us kind of know how we've done, and also then as well, if there's any suggestions that you guys have that you want to suggest that we are bringing into our monthly Ask Me Anything or even into our mugs, please feel free to ask us. So with that being said, I know we have had some questions, as I said. Yeah, so first question. Are there any updates, enhancements that we can expect for Pro version in the near future? Could
I
the
can take
portfolio functionality be implemented as basic version in Pro?
hmm,
Um, okay,
I can
perfect.
take
I
that.
think, Keen, I think you were going to jump on that one.
Yeah. So as far as I know, I don't really know much about the improvements to the Pro version coming down the line. They kind of keep their cards pretty close to the chest when it comes to the roadmap. But obviously, as soon as we hear anything, we'll make sure we let you guys know if you guys want to contact us by email or anything. But the portfolio solution right now is strictly on enterprise. Now, there are ways around getting something similar on the Pro version. So a lot of people are always like, okay, what's the best way I can manage my portfolio of projects? So I just want to show you guys how you can kind of replicate the portfolio solution in the Pro plan if you don't have the budget to go to enterprise. I would definitely recommend the enterprise plan for any project management stuff, especially if it's a bit more complex or there's a lot more projects. But let me share the screen and show you guys maybe a way around it. If you're just on the Pro plan. So I'm going to share the screen.
I'll stop
Amy, can you
sharing.
let me know? Can you see the
Yep.
screen there?
Yep. There you go. I can see it
Real,
now.
real. So what you'd want to do to replicate the portfolio solution, I'll quickly show you the portfolio solution, what it looks like, and then what something similar would be. So on the enterprise plan, this is what the portfolio solution looks like. It's very slick. Everything is very well contained. You don't have to connect boards and mirror columns up. It all happens automatically. You can add a project from here, choose a project from a template, and everything stays connected, which is really nice. So the problem with the Pro plan is it's a lot more manual, but you can do it. So if you are managing, multiple different projects, I recommend having a high level board, and your items here would be your actual projects. Okay. So let's say we have, maybe three projects we're running. We'd have the project's name here in our ongoing projects. And then you can mirror up the information you want from your lower level boards. Okay. So I'm going to show you how you do that. So right now we can see that we are mirroring up some information from Mug Project 1 and 2. Okay, so we're mirroring up the status here, we're mirroring up the timeline, effort spent. It's quite easy to mirror things up, but it is a bit more manual. So let me just add maybe Mug Project 3. And let's have a look and see how we can get that information up to a more portfolio style way of working. So to do that, you're going to need a connect boards column to connect the two boards together and kind of feed the information in. Okay, so let me just go to the high level board. And what you're going to want to do then is connect to the different tasks here in our mode project 3. So to do that, you would select all your tasks. There's a nice quick way around this. You can click Command A on a Mac and you can select them all, and then you can bring them up and connect them to that board. So let me just create, sorry, a connect board first of all.
And of course, with this as well, we can help have obviously we can help build this out for you as well.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to want to connect then to the high level board because this is the board we want to feed the information up to. And then we're going to link it then to the relevant project. So this is Mug Project 3. We're going to link it then to our Mug Project 3 on the high level board. Okay, so now we can see it's updating all the items and it's going to mirror the information then back up to Mug Project 3. I don't know why it hasn't worked in this case, but if you select them all and click that link, then it will all connect there. Or you can manually, maybe if you
There
want
you go.
you want to mirror up certain information, then you can mirror it up that way. But the issue a lot of people run into is when they add then a new kind of task or something, it doesn't mirror up and you have to do it automatically. So you can actually do this automatically with something really quick. You choose your default item values in the settings here. So whenever you create a new item, you can have it automatically linked back to the high level board by just choosing your project here. So then whenever a new item is added, it's automatically going to link and then everything will show up on your high level board. So this is something a lot of people get stuck with and they don't know how to, whenever a new item is added in your project, how to feed that up to the high level board. But that's how you do it. You use default item values in your lower level project boards and you can link them up then. So that means whenever a new item is added, it will automatically go up to our portfolio and you'll get that visibility and you don't have to go manually connecting and mirror things anymore. So that's the way around it. And then of course you can connect, your project's dashboard as normal and then report on things that way. So that's a way around it. It's not as slick. It's not as
Mm,
well implemented as the enterprise version, but give that a try in the meantime while we're waiting for maybe some of the more enterprise features to go to pro. But I'd also recommend this page here. So it's the Monday community where you can request new features. So if you just type that in Monday Help Center Monday community and go to the feature request section, this is where you can add in your feature requests and then maybe they'll ship it down the line. So that's that. So hopefully
and
that helps.
Monday really do listen to you with that as well. Like that is basically where they get the majority of their new feature requests or
Mm,
feature ideas from. It's from listening to what people are actually looking for as well. But you know, as Keen said, like that enterprise feature for the portfolios is a lot slicker. But of course, we can always work it have a workaround to do with the pro features.
yeah.
So I will just share the screen again. So this was this one. Does anybody have any questions on that before we move ahead?
I think we're all good.
Perfect. So the next question that we got sent in, I think this is from Marianne. Once a form has been, which I think Marianne, you're on the call, which is great. When a form has been submitted, can Monday.com send an email to the submitter of the form with format instructions? So this is yes, this can absolutely be done. This can be done. It's an automatic thing as well. So um, Monday can email the person who submitted your form but what we'll have to do is just set up an automation through that as well. So forms alone don't do auto email by default, but if you just give me 2 seconds and I can share my screen and I'll show you exactly how we can do it. It's pretty simple. Just 1 second.
Yeah,
I'll
because I
just
think a lot of the time, when people are filling out a form, like you want them to take another step. So just getting the form back is not enough. You might want to say something like, oh, okay, the form, it's going to take maybe 48 hours to, fill out the form or send back on the information. So it's always nice to have an automation where you can send out, instructions with that. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like so that they know that you've listened to them, that it's not just like an entry gone in through a
Mm,
form, that you've gotten something back to say. Like there is always the end of the form where you can say thanks for taking the survey or thanks for completing. But I think having that personalized touch through email is really good as well.
mhm,
So here's just a form that I have set up. And if we click into, so what we want to do is add, click into the main table. And then what we want to do from here then is go into create an create an automation recipe. Um, so we want to start from scratch.
Mhm.
So basically, when this happens, you want to go to when an item is created, because it's going to be created from the form, right? And then into the main table. And
Mhm.
once that's created, then what we want to do is to, one second, we want to send an email. So then, sorry, then send an email. And from here, we be able to set up. So I've got Outlook or Gmail, you can set that up. So you want to
Mhm.
send an email. Here as well, so you can set up your email from here. You can set up the subject line, and then this is going to go. So say if we just have this as test, and then thank you, thanks for your submission. And you can also put in here. You can auto-populate the item name, the board name, any of the details that you think would be best to have within that email. Um, and then this will go to either the person who you can set it up, so the person who sent it through to you, you can set it up to go to the email that of the person who sent it through, or if you
Mhm.
wanted to set it up so you can send it internally to a different team member as well, you can also do that. And then once that's created, then once an email comes through on here, it would automatically go back then to the customer or to the person who filled out the form. Um, so that, yeah, that's absolutely able to happen
Nice.
through here through automations as well.
Yeah, nice and easy. Cool. I'd
Yeah.
recommend maybe in the form making sure someone fills out their email in the
Yeah.
form, so you have an email column then, and it'll automatically go to the email column. But like Amy said, yeah, it's as simple as that. And then if you want to send it to someone internally, then you can do that. So nice. Do you want to share the next question then, Amy?
Yeah. 2 seconds. So these are ones that we've received in already. So just 1 second. So that was the one I just answered there. And the next one then, yeah. So what is the best way to track multiple projects over a year? If someone's on the enterprise, I think I seen that you had a portfolio.
Yeah.
Um, you have a demo. You're the king of them built out. So if you want to, do you want to take this one? You can share
Yeah,
your screen.
I can do that. Veronica, I'll get back to you now in a second. Or sorry, Veronique. I'll get back to you after this one. I'll read over your question and we'll have a look. But right now, I'll just kind of quickly show what the best way of kind of tracking your stuff on the enterprise plan would be. So it's kind of what I showed you already. I kind of gave you a spoiler alert
Mhm,
previously, but it is the portfolio solution in the enterprise plan. So the reason it's the best way to track all your projects is, again, it's so automated, right? So you can have, say you had a project request and approvals board, you can add a project right from here. You can have automation set up where as soon as you approve a project, what it will do, it will add that into your portfolio, but then it will create a project board ready to work on straight away. So not only are you mirroring up the essential information from your lower level project board, it goes into your portfolio there straight away. So I don't have that automation set up right now, but it's as simple as that. Once you approve a project, it will create the project board and it will connect it to the portfolio. So with the portfolio solution, you get all the essential info kind of mirrored up here. So if you want to mirror anything
mhm,
other than project progress or priority or plan timeline, you can just click plus and mirror. You don't have to connect boards and all that sort of stuff. You also get a nice snapshot view. So this is where you can easily see whether your projects are on track, whether they're at risk. You can set up some automations where maybe if your actual timeline went past your planned timeline by X amount of days, or
mhm,
maybe if you're 5 days past your planned timeline, then we not need to notify the project managers and say, look guys, you need to check this out, this is what's going on. So not only do you have that all connected together, you get AI reporting too. So let's say you have a bunch of projects and this guy who needs the reports, he doesn't like looking at like columns and charts. He wants a natural text report in a document. All you have to do is click a button and you will get a natural text language AI report that you can then share with him. So you can schedule these reports even. So maybe at the start of every month or the end of every month, he will get this document straight to his email and it will have everything you need. Now you can always edit this before sending it off, and so just double check it, make sure everything looks good, and then you can send it off to them. But you can completely, customize
mhm,
this. It will look a lot more interesting when people have comments and updates on items because the AI report will say something like, "Oh, Amy's latest update on the project is that the customer wanted to delay the project by 2 weeks because they didn't have the budget until X date." And that sort of stuff. So it's really easy. You click one button, you'll have your reports, and they'll
yeah.
all go in this like separate little portfolio reports folder too. which is really, really nice. Um, this is kind of what your typical projects board might look like, but again, completely customizable. You can have projects based on different templates. So when you add a project here in your project portfolio, it's going to ask you maybe what template you want to choose, because depending on your different type of project, you might have a completely different board that you need to work from. So you can choose your templates there, give it a name. Once you add it there, you'll also get a resource planner. So not only does the project get created automatically, you have a resource planner to plan your resources, and then you can feed this up to a high level capacity manager. And all this is pretty much out of the box on the
Mhm.
enterprise plan. So this is by far the best way to manage your project. So we can see here with this new project, we have our board that's been made from a template. We have our resource planner. So we can add our resources along here. So we can add someone in. So let's say myself, and we can choose how long I want to spend on this project. So maybe, this week I want to spend a total of 32 hours or 8 hours a day. But maybe this week I'm busy on other projects. Maybe I should only spend about 4 hours a day and 20 hours a week on that. That all then feeds up to a high level capacity manager, which is really, really nice. So
Yeah.
you can see all the people that are working on your projects and how their capacity is looking. So we can see Amy's working on this. She has 20 out of her 30 hours, so she could actually handle another 10 hours of work. So if maybe someone here is overloaded like myself, I can easily reassign this then to Amy. So I can click on this on project D, click on this button and reassign it to Amy. So then she's kind of at her capacity now. We can see we get the little tick box. She's at her full capacity, ready to work on it. And we can easily reassign things between teams. So we can group it by our resources, but we can also group it by team or job role. So if you want to
Yeah.
group it by your teams, it's really nice. You can expand it here, see exactly what everyone's working on, or you can see it by project. This is the way a lot of
Which is
project
really cool. Yeah, I
yeah,
like the
a lot of
project one.
project managers like to see it this way because it's project D, project E, and they can see exactly how many hours a week each person is spending on it and what their capacity looks like. So it has pretty much everything in one solution. You can export this. Again, you can export it to a PDF or schedule the PDF export. It can be
Mhm.
sent to a certain member of the team through email. You can have it daily and you can choose your time. You can have it monthly and you can customize the PDF layout, whether you want a portrait or landscape, what the scale of the PDF you want. And yeah, it has everything in one. So, I mean, I can't even see too much improvements that need to be made to this solution because it's straight out of the box and it's really nice to work with. And you also get, your Kanban views if you want. You have a Gantt chart view,
Mhm.
calendar views. So yeah, really, really nice.
All
So
fully customizable as well from that portfolio
yeah, yeah,
solution view as well. But again, like you said, it's what they have created already is pretty amazing, really.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So Veronique, let me have a look at your question. So maybe for later start regarding automations, when you've reached your limit for the month of the year, is it possible to
so,
increase the limit for the month?
so yeah, I was just while I looked into that, Keen, while you were
Oh
answering
yeah,
that.
great.
Yeah, sorry. So just with the Pro, with Pro, so the automations and integrations actions, they are capped at 25,000 each per month per account. And it isn't a yearly pool, but and you can't top it up. But if you do go over the average, then is deducted from next month's allowance. So it just depends on what way you have it set up. But what we can do is that we can reduce some of the usage by consolidating the triggers and just kind of avoiding like the redundant recipes that maybe you don't need if you are finding that you're going over on them, and then replacing some of the automations with formulas where possible. But we're happy to review the board recipes that you have already, and we can kind of suggest some quick wins for you as well, because there could be some that are set up from when you guys first started using it that you don't necessarily need anymore, or else there's more improvements, say on something, another feature within one day that you won't necessarily need the recipes or automations on that anymore. So we can have a review of that whenever we can set that up, maybe later on this week if you want.
Great.
Cool. So I think was there any other questions then from Joaquin had demoed? Because I know there was a lot to take in. And of course, again, like if you wanted to have a one-to-one demo with that as well, myself and Keen would be happy to jump on a call with you to go through it. Um, If there isn't,
Yeah, sorry guys, I had to fly through it just because of time. I could spend a lot longer going through it, but
like hours.
so we don't want to keep
It's
you too
amazing though. And even though it is out of the box, like what they have already created is really, really cool. They are still putting more efforts into it. Like they are, like every
long.
month there is new feature releases, and there's always something on the portfolio solution. Like the capacity planning that had only like improved again last month, I think it was. So
Yeah.
it's just small little things that they're doing. They won't actually take away any of the features, but they might. So if you notice that maybe there's a feature there that was there previously, but it's not now. They don't take away any features. They just kind of would maybe amend them slightly. So yeah, um, let me just go back and see if we've any other questions. I think we do. What teams are using AI? I'm not sure really where to start. So with this one, I mean, AI can be so overwhelming, and I think everyone knows like it's just kind of becoming a part of life at the moment, like between ChatGPT and other various features that we can use. But again, with Monday, they went in hard with it this year.
Mhm.
And it is like I was afraid at the start even to use it, but now it makes life so much easier. And I think what's important, like where you don't know where to start, I think what you need to do is start small. So start like teams need to start with small, high impact wins, like, even to the likes of like auto summarizing long text
Mm.
or draft and routine emails. That's really good. And in Monday.com, that's all built in. So you can summarize, you like the AI can help you summarize, extract key fields. It can even help you like translate and then even assign statuses to different owners right on the boards, like with the automations and stuff like that.
Mm.
And it goes on like, if you're using CRM, then there's AI email assistant, which is really good. And I know myself and Keen both use that when we're reaching out to new clients.
Mhm.
On Pro, yeah, so you still have all of those good things that are in it, but it's just you're limited, kind of like you're capped kind of with the amount of interactions that you have for that month. And I think that kind of goes into our next question as well. Can you show the AI filters, how the filters work, and how they might be better than using the regular filters? And
Mm.
again, I'm going to hand this back to Arkeen because he is the AI.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the AI queen, the AI king.
I mean, you can call me the AI
Either
King.
either.
I don't mind. So yeah, let's have a look. So the filters, right? This is really cool, and I only seen this kind of get released there in the last couple of weeks. Can you see the screen there? Okay.
I
Yeah.
can, yeah.
Cool.
This is
So
really
this
cool.
is just, you can extrapolate from this and look at how you can use this in your own projects, right? But sometimes, figuring out the filter and trying to figure out what you want to look for can be a bit complicated,
Hmm.
especially if you have multiple columns and multiple text boxes that you need to kind of filter through. This works really well for anyone that's like, I don't know, they're working with kind of like lots of archives of information and they want to filter through it, or maybe asset management. So here, if we click on the arrow beside the filter button, you can toggle a switch, which is called filter with AI, and you can just use a sentence to filter instead of, adding multiple new filters. So if I said on this board, right, show me the four transit vans that are assigned
Hmm.
to me, where the driver is Tom, and you can expand on that and you can be like, oh, where the invoice number ends in XQZ or whatever you want, right? You can then generate a filter. So look what happens. It might take a little minute, but it's going to show me then just the four transit vans that are assigned to Amy, where the driver is Tom. And we can see that. Look, Amy's there, driver is Tom, and it's the
Hmm.
four transit van. So you can use this in any way you like. Give it a try. Just toggle that filter with AI, and then you can type it in and see it's done three different filters there for us. Instead of having to kind of manually go through it, which is going to save you a lot of time. Again, like speaking of quick wins that Amy said, you can do things like, I don't know if I have a good example here of it now, but let's say you're working on a project and there's a lot of like updates on an item, and you're like, I don't want to go through all of these updates manually. There's a really quick win. It's just add a column called summarize updates, and it will put a summary of all the updates that have been made on that item in this little text box. So
Hmm.
it will save you so much time. I don't have a great example over here now because I don't have any updates on this. This is just, a demo board. But say you had like 100 comments there. This is going to give you the latest update on the item. It'll give you next actions that you need to do, all that sort of stuff. And it will constantly update. You don't have to run that trigger again. It will automatically
Yeah.
surface that information. I mean, there's so many things you can do. And we've only 2 minutes, so I'll just run through it quickly. Like AI powered support tickets, so you can automatically categorize a support ticket. You can translate a
Mhm.
request here. You can automatically assign the urgency based on this. So how you do that is you go into the AI powered options. You would customize it, and you would say something like translate the request, or then you can assign the labels based on this, and you can give it a custom action. This is a summary, so this is basically just a summarizing the request. You can summarize it. I mean, you can automatically draft a reply. There's so many things that you can do with this. It's insane. So again, please reach out to us if you want to go through this in more detail and look at how you can kind of implement it in your own workflow. But yeah, I think we're at time now. So
Yeah, that flew through. Didn't
it
think it would.
is.
I thought, yeah,
Dude.
it flew through. But guys, it's great stuff. Keen, thanks so much for all the demos. Guys, if you have, I think Keen, you put in, yeah, you put in a link there to reach out to myself or
Yeah.
Keen if you guys want any one-to-ones. Yeah, Leila will definitely jump on with that to see what else we can what we can change and maybe change some automations recipes that you guys have set up already. But yeah, thanks everybody so much for joining. As I said, there'll be a copy of this going out to you guys tomorrow. And yeah, if there's anything else that you guys need, be sure to reach out to us and happy to jump on a call.
Thanks, guys.